Okay, so this is up here under the payments. There's create a payment plan.
Yeah.
So this is where they can put in the amount. So
We
but-
don't do those, right? When it will be in the ledger, it will say it's a payment plan or it like,
well, here, let me do one because I have to put in a service. It won't let you just make a payment plan. We have to put in a service. So let's do a crown. Oh, come on, don't give me a hard time. Oh, I know why it's doing this. Okay, so the patient owes $1,591. It looks like, which I need to get rid of all these other fees. If they practice on this, they need to clean them up. Okay, but just for the sake of argument, the patient owes $1,464, this fake patient. So if we go into the payment plan, this is where you would see it. And we were making a payment arrangement on the 1086 that they owed. And we were going to do monthly payments and say they were going to pay $200 a month for the 6 months. And you might type in whatever notes you had and save this. And now see where it says payment plan up here?
yeah.
Because there is a payment plan, this is what's going to alert you. So what I'm saying, Yuta, is if she's making financial arrangements for people to pay the office a monthly payment, then the arrangement may also be there.
All right, but it doesn't appear on the ledger. We can still create claims and all that.
Right,
but
it's not going to interfere with any of that, but see what happened?
Uh-huh.
So it took everything that I rolled into that payment plan, it put these dollar signs by to indicate to the person at the desk, there's a payment plan, like, hello, there's a payment plan, somebody pay attention, so that they could go in here to look at it and see what the payment plans are, how long, when did they make the last one, all of that.
Mm-hmm. But
And
this will interfere with creating claims, like it will not
not at
allow
all,
claim for this?
not at all.
Okay.
I'm just telling you for your clinic rower people
Sure.
and for DIM, if there's payment arrangements within the system, Mindy's going to start adding them in here so that they are apparent to everybody, not just her, or not just like when I do chart review for them for ortho, I have to go look through all the documents to find the original agreement and figure out how much was it, when was it due, how many months behind are they. This way it's going to show right on the ledger, and the dollar signs are attached to the treatment that's involved in that payment plan. So it's easy to see, but it will not interfere with anything billing wise. It will not interfere with anything posting wise. It's not going to interfere with us.
All right, that's good to know.
Okay, so this is just what it would look like if there is a payment plan that they're paying the office off in installments, which is usually what happens to ortho.
But this is once they get that, what you call it, the banding for the.
Right. They usually will walk out the banding when the brackets for the braces get put on or the Invisalign trays get delivered. That's when they're charging out the ortho, and the arrangements would have been the down payment, all that stuff would have happened that day.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, Cindy.
So this might be another place for you to look, because she told me
Sure.
yesterday she's going to be doing that. All right, let me get rid of this other stuff here before.
Okay, so is Kim going to be doing the same?
She should be doing the same. She's supposed to be putting in her payment plans for all her ortho people, but I don't think she is.
Yeah, she did. She was telling they didn't. She was on the call with us as well. She said she's like, there's like literally no shows only. She has
There's
like
what?
patients. No show.
Oh,
Most
for
of them
the,
are
but
no
just in
shows.
general, the payment plans, I've asked her for the people that are in treatment, even if they're not clinic growers, just to put the payment plans in the computer so we can keep track. It's so much easier than trying to do it on a piece of paper and have to keep searching for everything. I don't even know if everything got scanned in over there from her ortho paperwork because it was all separate. So I'm not sure,
Mhm.
last I talked to her about it, everything had not been scanned in. So we'll have to find out about that. But that's what it would look like, or that would perhaps give you or whoever's working on that an indication of another place to look for totals. You'll be able to tell from the dollar signs which of the
Sure.
lines on the ledger was included in the payment plan. Okay. And then,
All right. I will let them know because I'm having training with them tomorrow.
okay, yeah, so I think that we should start using the payment plan option to, just because I think it's a good indicator for everyone looking at the ledger to be aware that, hey, like, it's just a, reminder, somebody look, there's payments set up. Is the patient due while they're here today? Should we get that payment? Um, okay, so do you want to, we've got a couple of things to cover. I know you guys didn't generate claims because I did them last night and I did some of the others. And then I had also talked to Mindy about working on the accounts receivable for over 90 days, like we're working on the insurance, that she's to get working on the patient balances.
Mhm.
I can't remember, did we talk about that yesterday? Because I can't remember when I talked to Mindy, before you or after you.
Yeah, we were going to separate the deltas of different states, but we didn't get to that. So we didn't start it. So if there is any update, should we still do it or should we not
Yeah,
do it?
no,
Just
go
tell
ahead and
us.
do it. What I talked to Mindy about was, because as I told you, Mindy's been watching this carefully.
Yeah.
And she wanted to, intervene to get things moving along, which was another reason why I went in yesterday and billed a bunch of them out. But, and the overdue amount of money in total for Grand Ledge in the accounts receivable is, for over 90 days, it's like $400,000. And I had pointed out to her and to Mosin that out of that $400,000, about 182 is insurance, that old insurance stuff that I'm working on and you guys are working on. The remainder, which is almost 250,000, are patient balances that are over 90 days. So my point was, if Mindy wants to help us, then she should be working on the $250,000 while we're clearing up the insurance, because nobody's working on that and it's a much bigger portion than the insurance. So there's a lot of patients that need
Yeah.
to be contacted about that old money. So I gave her the report, like I sent her the stuff, we talked about it yesterday. So I want her to work on collecting the patient money while we're cleaning up the rest of the insurance, because there's a lot out, and that's what Mosin wants cleared up. Well, everybody focusing 100% of their efforts on the insurance stuff is okay, but that's not going to solve our problem when there's 250 grand out in patient balances.
Yeah, and she'll be pretty busy with that, so maybe she will
Right.
let it be for now.
There's quite a bit there. So if she can focus her efforts, and whoever she wants to help her with that in East Lansing, they can start working on that while we continue to work on this. And so that's kind of what we were discussing. And then there were also all the ortho chart reviews I did that were in the Google Docs that had all the patients in ortho that were missing payments, or payments had been paid to the patients. So I resent those to her so that she can also work on them and start calling the ortho people to get that money back, and also catch up the people who are far behind on their ortho payments. So there's a number of things that she can do to help, and it's going to keep them busy enough to help us, but with the patient part of it, not necessarily with the insurance right now. And then there were a couple of things I talked to her about, a few other things to clear up about Aetna DMO and the Blue Cross Complete. So we discussed that, like we were talking about the 4 quadrants that I found that keep getting billed out. She said she's talked to Dr. Gadala, she'll talk to her again. And so we went over a few of those kinds of details as well, so that she can keep reminding everybody that, you know, they need to do things in a certain order or process so that we can get paid. And Dr. Guidetti and the doctors, for the ones who are billing out x-rays, that they make sure they put an exam in or something along with the x-rays so that they get paid. And for an example here yesterday, Dr. Gadalo, the periodontist, she saw a patient for a post-op and she did not put in a sinus lift, a sinus augmentation. That's a $2,500 procedure.
Whoa.
She never put it in. And because in this office anyway, Nina keeps all the routers from the visits. We had the last several months of routers. We went and pulled it out and looked at the router. It was not put on the router. So there would have been no way for the front desk to know. All they put on there was the implant. They didn't put the sinus augmentation. So it's like, how can we go back to this guy and say, you owe $2,500 now? When it was never discussed and it was not brought up the day that they did the surgery or anything. So, you know, another example of the